Welcome back to the Fire Up Connect Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, James Foo Torres, but you can call me Foo. And now I have the Director of Payments and Finance, Will Black. How are
Hey,
you?
Foo, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you?
This is easy. You and I have gotten a chance to chat in the past, so we're just hanging out now. Ask me what you will.
What you will. Is that a playing words because
Yeah,
of your
yeah,
name?
yeah.
Anyway, so I do know you, but the audience doesn't know you. So if you would like to quickly introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do in the strategic advisory board and also, what you do outside of it and why is it important?
Sure. First of all, James, thanks for having me. Your work is unappreciated. I mean, really, that's the magic sauce. SAB, us working with businesses and getting them to the next level, sometimes very small businesses, great ideas, but launching them, right? We've kind of been a secret weapon. And if you were in the right business circle, you got us. But then Fu applies his magic to it. And all of a sudden, we're in front of all these, these organizations and people are coming saying, please tell me what you tell these guys, let us, let us into it. So thank you for having us. These are always the best. I'm I'm in merchant accounts, right? I set up the poison that everybody has to drink a little bit of every day. Don't drink too much; it'll kill you. And that is, you cannot be in business in the modern world without taking credit card, debit card, right? I don't care if you've got a store where it's brick and mortar. I don't care if you're online. You have to have payments, but that is the surest way to be bled to death if you don't know what you're doing. And the problem is the industry purposefully obfuscates, purposefully makes more complicated the system than it should be, so that the average business doesn't know what in the heck they're doing. Imagine, your statements these guys get, it might as well be in Sanskrit. It might as well be in code. It can't be read, right? So with SAB, what I do is I go in there and I do what the food man does. I go in there and I help educate people and I say, it's okay. Listen, you can do this. You've got this great idea. You've got this great business. I'm going to do, me and my team, we're going to work with you, do some baby steps for a little while, but after a while, we're going to train you. We're going to show you, you can come back to us every once in a while, but you're going to do great. But lots of people do merchant accounts. What we really do is we say, I got to tell you a story. There's a guy, there's a woman, every time they walk into a business, they swipe a card, debit card, credit card, doesn't matter, but they're in a business and they swipe a card. And every time they do, Visa, MasterCard pays a fee. One of those fees goes back into the system, doesn't go to Visa, doesn't go to MasterCard, goes to a system, generally to a bank, but it's allowed to legally go to a charity. Well, all of a sudden you have the definition of sustainable funding. My personal company, sharing the credit, that is all we do. We have a simple rule. Anything I touch gives, it gives. And because of that, we've now given away millions of dollars. That's a weird thing to say. You ever written a check for $90,000 to a school that desperately needs money? I have. You ever buy a Christian radio station a $30,000 car? Done that. And I'm not a superhero. These businesses, they want to support their charities. We say, first, let's save you money. Let's make sure the house isn't burning down, right? Got to be good for the business. And then, boom, let's redirect this fee legally to go to a 501, an IRS approved nonprofit. That's exciting business. If that doesn't spark something in your heart, you are in a coma. And that's what we do every day.
And this just so like the audience understands, like the alternative to this is using Stripe or using PayPal. Is that correct?
Or using any Stripe and Stripe, Square, PayPal, right? Really well known, extraordinarily expensive, easy. A lot of guys get in there, and it's perfectly acceptable, right? You're starting out, you don't know. It's practically turnkey. It's very, very simple. It's expensive. And then they're making all this money and they don't know they're spending tons and tons and tons of cash. I have to go. You think big guys, they've got people, right? The third client we ever talked to in terms of saving them money and helping them give to their charity, right? Was a group that did $1 million a month. Pray for them. You know, they're struggling. They got, they got problems. No, not really. And we had to go in there and say, you're overspending $30,000 a year in fees that you don't have to pay. 30,000. And they're like, that's a car. That's a whole car. You know, we could buy someone a car. And we're like, yeah. And then they gave, and they still do now. Every year they give over $100,000 a year to their charity that used to just go back into the system. I love my job. I give away other people's money. I get a lot of credit. It's not my money. I'm handing off money in a financial relay race. I'm just giving it to a charity instead. But everybody that has a business, they need those little bits. They need to learn how to look at it, how to do it. We show you how to do it. It's the first, best, fastest, easiest way for you to save sometimes thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. We just consulted with a group and they would get $5.2 million a year back a year. That's staggering. But also startups, right? You know, lots and lots of startups. You got a good idea. How do you get it off the ground? Don't pay through the nose. You can learn how to do it. We can show you how.
Awesome. I love this because since we started talking, like that's one of the first things, like when I connected with Jason, he told me like, yeah, like as soon as like, you start getting going a little bit, we have to get you out of Stripe. We have to get you out of PayPal. Like that money can just be, instead of being paid to PayPal and into Stripe, which is the ones that I use the most. Like they're just like greedy and everything, and I just don't even like them that much. Might as well give it to charity, right? Like instead of giving it to them. So that's why I really like what you do, because I mean, actually we're in the process of doing it for my business right now.
That's right.
And I
God bless you.
And now I would like to like for you to share. So what is something that, given that you specialize on all this like saving and these merchants accounts for a business just starting out, right? Mm-hmm. Like, or maybe just kind of, it's being for like a year, like, I don't know what the criteria is, but how soon would you recommend people to start looking into the merchant account, and what will be the most efficient way so they waste the least amount of money into these other payment processors?
The best time is yesterday. I mean, really, we get calls all the time. People say, I know you don't do businesses that are my size, and they haven't said what their size is, right? And we say, I have no idea what you're talking about. We do multi-million-dollar a month clients. We do clients that are not going to be launching for 2 months, right? But at the end of the day, a little knowledge goes a long, long way. That's one of my favorite things you're doing, is you always want to educate. Give me a nugget. Give me that thing I can take home. Here it is. Here's the mystical equation that all of a sudden you can take that gobbledygook, whatever that is, even if you haven't launched your own account, or if you've had it for a year, or if you've had one for 10 years, here's how you can use and keep on track, right? You get these pages and pages of data, ignore all of it. You need 2 numbers. And I teach guys that are, again, startups. There's one woman that has a $2 million a month business, this group that does 10 million, and they don't know it. And I'm always surprised. You need 2 numbers. You need your total sales for that month. You need the total fees coming out for that month. And then your business, in 90 seconds, you can make sure that you're on track, or you can see if your merch account's burning down the house. That's it, right? Now, the trick is make sure that total fee, sometimes they break it up and they, here's half here, half here. Make sure, add it up. But let's say you've got a business and they do $20,000 a month in sales, and they've got $600 out of the month going to Visa, MasterCard, and fees. So what am I really doing? That's easy. Divide 600 by 20,000 and you have your number. But you've got to make it into a percentage. If we remember, fifth grade math, you know, how you got to move the decimal twice to the right, got to make it 100, right? We do that. And then you would see that that 0.003 number for 600 out of 20,000, too high. Now, the only thing you need to know beyond that is based against what? And that is, if you have a retail business where you're swiping the card, you see your customer, it's 2% is the area you want to be, 2 or lower. If you have an online business, unless it's high risk, you want to be at 2.3%. So you take that total fees, divide it by your total sales, you get a number, move that decimal twice to the right, you have your percentage. So in that case, we've got 3%. And are you retail? So it should be 2, it's too high. Are you online? 2.3, it's too high. Right? I know now most of these numbers I can do off the top of my head because I know a group that's doing $20,000 a month. If that's retail, man, that guy needs to be paying $400. If they're doing $200,000 a month, right? You know, I can look at it very quickly and know, but that's it. And we train that to anybody. You don't have to have a terminal math degree, Foo, to figure out that statement at the end of the month. Just that little bit. Divide that number there, 2 to the right. Is it against 2% or 2.3? Well, your retail or your online. You pick it from there. And that's it.
Great. Thanks for sharing that and getting all like those like little details, like, you know, just 2 numbers. Just think about that. If there's 3% or higher, like just run and look for people like Will Black, and that they will educate you, will make it a very smooth process to get you to pay less and even donate that money too. So like it's just like it's a win-win. Like you can't lose with this type of transaction. So definitely 100% recommend to every business owner, if you don't have a merchant account, or even if you have one, maybe just talk to Will and see if you can get better rates and donate more.
Everybody overpays.
Perfect.
And you can forget they can forget all this, you know, because you're a friend of the Foo. If you can go to our own site, sharingthecredit.com, and you can download a little PDF that explains that very difficult equation. But if you want to see it in print, if you like seeing it in print, and we show people all day long, we say, even if you don't go with us, don't make this mistake. A little education goes a long way. You can do it. Don't let them confuse you into feeling you're dumber than you are. You're not. You're just not a specialist in that field, right?
Exactly.
Good gravy, James. I don't know how to do what you do. I do not want to know how you do. I don't know how you go into the ether and cast your PR spells and make all that magic happen. I don't. I can do mine. I need you to do what you do. But I can show you a little bit, and that's what we do.
Definitely. And that's why, like, yeah, everybody, like, one tip that I can give is like, just, you know, get good at your stuff. And then the other things that you need in your business, you can come to one centralized place like Strategic Advisor Board. In there, you can talk about PR with me. You can talk about payments with Will. We can talk about strategy. You can talk about everything. And that's what the power of 10 really brings to the table, and the community that brings way more than 10. So yeah, thanks for sharing that knowledge. I hope that at least one person can take this and really talk to you and really like save a lot of money. And then we can even have them on the show talking about, oh my God, that was so great. You know, that would be an amazing story.
That's the point. Education, you can do it.
Perfect. So thanks for being here. And I'll see you around in Sab.
All right, buddy. Thank you, James.
Thank you. So now we're gonna go to commercials again, and after that, I'm gonna be talking about a little bit of tips and actionable steps coming from my expertise of PR or public awareness, PA, how we calling it now. So we'll be right back.